Okay, well, it's time for another Arduino project. Now, I came across this on an excellent YouTube channel called Marcel's Workshop, and I'll put a link in the description to the video that's on his channel for this particular project. And I'm not going to go into too many details about how you make this, because his video explains it all, and it's a very, very, very simple project. And I thought it would be fun, and it really takes a few minutes to put the electronics together and load up the sketch and get the thing working. So what intrigued me more about this was building a case to put this thing in once I've actually done it and got it working. But I thought we'd go over the electronics to start with, because obviously, yeah, there's the basics of it. So what we have is this here is a D1 Mini ESP8266 Wi-Fi module. And that's basically the center of the whole thing. Ever so cheap. I picked this one up for £5.50 on eBay, and it came with all these headers as well. You also need a display, and for that we're using a Max 7219 serial 8-digit 7-segment display, which is this little matey here. Okay. Now that also comes with some headers. And you can use either of these headers, because we're going to basically connect this to this. You don't need this, but this is passive. This is a PIC KY006 passive speaker module, and basically that's optional, but you can connect that or leave it or not use it. It's entirely up to you. Well, anyway, what this whole lot does when it's connected up together and you run the sketches, it connects to your Wi-Fi network and interrogates your YouTube channel, and will provide a live display of your subscribers. So this is basically a YouTube channel subscriber counter, and I think it checks about once a minute to see whether you've had any more subscribers, and the count will increase as the subscribers increase. The sounder is simply to add a beep every time you get a new subscriber, and that's basically it. Basically, what we're going to do, let me pull out a little bit, is that we get the right side here. Where are we? Yes. Yeah. So basically, we're gonna connect the pins on the display through using one of these headers to the pins on the Arduino module there, like that. And I'll do that off camera, and then basically we load up the sketch onto the Arduino, run it, and hopefully it should all be working. If you want the beeper, you need to connect that to a couple of other pins on the Arduino, and that really is all there is to it. So I'll get that done and see whether we can get the thing working. Okay, well, it's the D1 Mini and the Max 7219 7-segment display lashed up on some prototyping board. Now I've done something slightly different here. Marcel, on his video, he connected the display here directly to the D1 Mini using a header. Now I opted to not do this. I've got mine lashed in using flying leads, because when I come to mount the display in my enclosure, I want access to both sets of holes. And the problem is that when this is mounted directly onto the D1 Mini board, you can't access the holes at this end. So that's why I've done it this way. Also, I wanted to bring out the power and ground from the D1 Mini, and also the D8 pin onto the prototyping board, so I could connect various different things up to it. I've also made some other modifications, so we'll zoom out so you can see what they are. So there's the whole lash up. So as you can see, we now have a speaker, and we have this extra little module here. Now, let's just zoom in on that. Now, originally, there was provision to use a sounder, which is one of these things, a little piezo speaker thing, and this would make a noise every time you got a new subscriber. The problem is these things are not very good. They just basically tick when they make a noise, and they're just not very good at all. So I was thinking that, well, I've got a spare DV Mini MP3 player, which I used on the Star Trek sick bay panel build, which I did a video on previously, and these are which is what this little module is here, and they're brilliant. They're basically, you can see how tiny it is. That's my finger there. They take a micro SD card and they will play whatever MP3 or WAV file is on that card when a certain pin, which is this pin here, in fact, is taken low. So I'm thinking, well, we could use the D1 Mini to activate the Mini MP3 player. Now, I had to make a small modification in the code to do this because the MP3 player requires a excuse me, requires a high going low pulse, and of course originally it's low going high coming out of the D1 Mini. So well, once that was done and we had to shorten the pulse a bit, it all worked fine. So I'll come out again so you can see the whole thing. We'll power it up in a minute. There we go. Now did I have any issues getting this to work? The answer is yeah, I did. And we'll talk about those next. Now, the first problem I had, I couldn't get the sketch to compile properly, and that was entirely my fault. You must make sure that you load the correct version of the libraries that Marcel used when he did the project initially. The current version of the libraries doesn't work, so you must use the versions that he states. Once you do that, the code compiles fine. And then I had an awful lot of trouble. I couldn't get the sketch to upload to the D1 Mini module, and I tried all sorts of different things, and it just wouldn't do it. And in the end, it turned out to be quite a simple issue. This is the sort of cable that I use when I'm in the past, when I've been uploading sketches to my Arduino Uno modules. And I was using a similar cable to this to try and upload sketch to that. It would not go, it just would not work. So in the end, I simply tried a thicker cable, which is this one, and it worked fine. So the only conclusion that I can draw from that is that the Arduino Unos do not draw much current at all. This one, being a Wi-Fi module, must draw a lot more current, and I think that was the issue, that it just wasn't getting enough current. Once I changed the cable, it was absolutely fine. Right, let's get it started and you can see what it does. Okay, we'll plug the power in. Now, it takes about a minute for it to connect to the Wi-Fi and interrogate the YouTube stats. And then the display will change from all the zeros to whatever your subscriber count is. And the MP3 player will play whatever is on that card. And I've just uploaded it's just a bit of fun. I mean, it's just, well, I uploaded what I thought was a appropriate, shall we say, file. So we just have to wait and watch it for a minute. The display definitely looks better with some neutral filter over it. It's a bit bright initially, but yeah, put some neutral filter over it and it's fine. And what we'll do is, once it's and there you go. So as I said, it's just a bit of fun, and it's showing my current YouTube channel subscriber number, which is 874, which is correct. Okay, so that's it. Now the next stage is to build an enclosure. I've started on the enclosure, it's not finished yet, but we'll have a look at that next. Okay, so here's the enclosure. I've used some scrap mahogany sheet that I actually had lying around in stock. Very simple, just cut the shape, glued together basically. Bent up a bit of brass plate for the cover, and there's the inside. Let's go in a bit closer. I think you have a look at that. I've already got the D1 Mini mounted and the Mini MP3 player, and to mount those I've actually used some of this Mini Breadboard. Now this is ever so cheap. It comes with a double-sided sticky pad on the back, so it's ideal for mounting. I bought a packet of 6 of these. I can't remember how much. They were very cheap, and they're ideal for this. So they're already in there. Obviously the display will mount on some standoffs, and there'll be some a clear filter in front of that, and then the speaker will mount against this this edge here, sort of thing. So that's it, really. That's the enclosure. Very, very simple. Oh yeah, there's the hole for allow you to plug your. Let's come back out again. Allow you to plug your USB cable in or power supply. So yeah, so that's it. That is that's the enclosure. Okay, here's the unit assembled. I've got the display in now, and the speaker. So basically, it's finished apart from having the back panel put on. Very, very simple construction here. You know, I've just used some 6BA bolts with some nuts and washers as spacers to space the display out away from the neutral filter, and I have a single bolt with a washer and a thin nut underneath holding the speaker in place, and hopefully we should be good to go. So let's get this thing powered up. Okay, let's power it up. Now it takes about a minute for it to connect to my Wi-Fi and go and interrogate my YouTube channel's stats so it can display the subscriber count. When it does that for the first time, it will play whatever MP3 or WAV file I've recorded on the micro SD card, which I hope is an appropriate one for this occurrence. And then subsequent to that, it will play that sound or that file every time the subscriber count increases by one more. And that's basically it. As I said, it's a very simple project, just a bit of fun, very easy to do. I'll put links in the description to where I got the components and also to Marcel's workshop, his YouTube channel. And as I said, it's just a bit of fun, really. But as I said, nice and easy project. And one which has some relevance if, of course, you are a YouTube creator. So hopefully, in the not too distant future, there we go. As I said, that will play that sound again the next time the subscriber count increases by one, and subsequently it will play it every time you get an increase in the subscriber count. So there you go, YouTube channel subscriber counter, courtesy of Marcel's workshop, and a lovely little project. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers.